Hello?
Hello? Excuse me.
Are you ignoring me? I think we need to communicate.
Wait, what does healthy communication look like?
Now, healthy communication, it don't mean we have to agree on everything necessarily,
Mm,
but it does mean we have to create a safe space for each other so we both can
mhm.
feel seen and heard. You know what I mean?
I get it.
Yeah. And so I think it would be a good idea for us to go through like some tips and tricks on how to communicate with somebody when you're having a difficult conversation. And also, we should go over some rules. So some rules on how to fight fairly because let's be realistic. All of us are going to fight. We're not going to always agree and get along. It's not going to always be kumbaya. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's going to be a little rah rah. So in those moments when there's a little bit of rah rah, let's
Yes.
establish some ground rules.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I agree. Like to me, healthy communication is like not withholding anything. Like
Hmm.
be as honest as possible, you know?
Right. Don't be afraid of a little bit of conflict, a little bit
Yes.
of healthy debate. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yes.
So we have, right, an acronym that we would like to go over with you all today. And the acronym is called Dear Man. All right. It comes from a program called DBT, which I could talk to you guys more about in further episodes if you would like to. But for the sake of this actual episode, we're going to stick with Dear Man, the Dear Man acronym. All righty. So D, the D in Dear Man, what's that stand for? Not what you might think it stands for. There's different types of D,
Yeah. Come on.
right? Today, D stands for describe, right? Which
Mhm.
is describing the situation, sticking to the facts, and tell the person exactly what you are reacting to. So let's say, for example, you have a person who is chronically late. They make plans with you and they are always late, right? What is a productive way to have a conversation about that? So, if we're using D, the D in Dear Man, you told me you would be home by dinner by a certain time, let's say 9 o'clock,
Mhm.
but you did not get here until 11. That is the fact, plainly and clearly, right?
Period.
Now we're going to move on to the E. Coach Jay, what's the E?
E is express.
Express yourself.
Express your feelings and opinions about
Mm-hmm.
any situation. Don't
Mm-hmm.
assume. Always use the I statements, as in
Mm.
I want,
Mm-hmm.
I should, not you should, but I should.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
for like example, when you come home late, you know, you say if somebody comes home late, you say, I was worried about you. Not you should have
Mm-hmm.
called me
Mm-hmm.
to let me know that you're okay, but I was worried.
I like that because that will allow the person to not become so quick to be
Mm,
defensive
mm-hmm.
because you're telling them how their behavior is impacting you,
Yes.
right? Love it. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else on the E you want to say about the E?
I mean, express yourself.
Express, express yourself. Right. Okay.
Let's move on to the
So
A.
let's go on to the A. So A is for assert. Assert yourself by asking for what you want or saying no clearly. Don't
Yes.
assume. Again, do not assume that people know what you want. People cannot read your mind. Most of
Mm-hmm.
us are not psychics or clairvoyants. You know what I mean? We can't assume that. So in this example, I'm saying assert. I would really like it if you would call me if you're going to be late. Very
Simple.
simple.
Very
Hmm.
simple.
Yes.
We're going to move on to the R, which is reinforce. So you're
Mm.
going to reinforce the person ahead of time
Hmm.
by explaining positive effects of getting what you want or need.
Hmm.
You know, if necessary, always clarify the negative consequences of getting what you want or need.
Hmm.
So, for
Hmm.
example, once again, I would be so relieved and a lot easier to live with if you do not do that.
Hmm. Hmm.
Or if you do that, remember. always remember also to reward desired behavior, you know?
So R is like reinforce and reward. Is
Yes.
that what that is? Got it.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes.
Got it. Got it. I can see how that could be helpful because they can understand how if they can do something a little bit differently,
Mhm.
it can help both of you to have a better evening, right? Like if you know they're going to be late, you're less stressed out, you're less worried, you're not bothered, you're just moisturized and beautiful. You know what I'm saying? You're unbothered because you know they're going to be
Yes.
late,
Come on.
right?
Yes.
Right? Um, and so that's the gift that keeps giving because you both can have a good night. At that point, that's the reward. Got it. Yes, yes. I like to be moisturized. Yes,
Me too.
yes. So that brings me to the M in Dear Man, right? So, I mean, M can stand for moisturize, but it also stands for something else, right? So, in this case, M stands for mindful. Stay mindful, okay? Imagine you're coming across somebody who is toxic, someone who might be a little narcissistic, they might speak Narcasian. You know what I mean? If you've seen any of our other videos, we talk about people who speak Narcasian.
Yes.
Um, if they are trying to attack you, try to take you off the subject, try to deflect and put the problem back on you,
Mhm.
being mindful means staying focused on the topic at hand, like a broken record. Repeat yourself until they understand, right? So maintain your position. Don't go off topic. Keep asking, saying no, or expressing your opinion.
Mhm.
Replay the same thing over and over again.
Mhm.
So let's say, for example, they're like, "Well, why does it matter if I'm late?" Like, you don't always call me when you're late. I understand what you're saying, but I would like you to call. I get it, but I would still like a call. In this situation, I think it's better off if in the future you can give me a call. You understand? So I'm just going to stay calm. I'm going to keep going back to the topic. Even if they try to attack and say, well, you don't always do it, I understand that. And this is why I think it's something we should bring up. So that's being mindful. I think we should bring
That's
this
something
up.
we should work on.
Yes.
Not just
So
you, but me as well.
so let's do that because if we go back to R, reinforcing,
Mhm.
that's going to help both of us to have a good night. We want to have a happy ending tonight,
That's
right? So
that's
if
the
we can
reward.
if yes, that's the reward. So let's get along, consider each other's feelings so we can have a wonderful night.
We're going to move on to the A, which stands for appear confident.
Confident.
Again, appear confident.
Okay, and I know you know about confidence, Coach Jay. You're like all about that confidence. So break that down. Yeah, what does that mean? Appearing confident.
You know, appear like effective,
Mhm.
use a confident voice,
Okay.
physical manner, make good eye contact,
Mhm.
don't whisper, don't look around,
Mhm.
no staring at the floor, no stammering,
Mhm.
don't say I'm not sure. Appear confident. Say what you have to say and mean what you have to say.
Mhm. That's very important. Very
Yes,
important.
yes. If you're telling someone I need you to call me when you're running late,
Mhm.
make sure you say that with confidence. I need you to call me. I was worried.
Mhm.
Just as simple as that. I would just want to make sure that you're okay, that you're
Mhm.
still on en route here.
Mhm. Love it. Love it.
Yes.
And so the last part of Dear Man is the N.
Hmm.
The N word, not the one that y'all think, right? But this N stands for negotiate. And you see, I'm ready to negotiate. I'm prepared for it. Came for the assignment, right?
Hmm.
So that means you have to be willing to give to get, right? Don't assume that they're going to agree with you right away when you come at them with your suggestion,
Hmm.
right? Offer solutions, you know, offer an alternative if they don't seem to be able to understand that one thing that you brought to their attention as a solution. So, for example, how about if you text me if you can't call me?
Hmm.
You know, how about you send me a message? Let's say if we use some other kind of form of communication, send me that message and let me know that you're going to be late, right? And finally, if they still don't seem to understand what you're saying, turn the tables, right? That's also part of negotiation. Well, this is really bothering me, and I don't want to just let this go. So, what do you think we should do about it? Because I just cannot stop worrying about this. This is really a big issue for me. What do you suggest that we do? And go from there.
Hmm.
But basically, you're letting the person know that you're not going to just back down from this, that you want to be able to end the conversation with a solution, right? So,
Appear
there's that.
confident, you guys. Appear confident.
Yeah. And don't back down. This is a situation where you need to, as far as confidence is concerned, stand your ground. Don't be afraid to take up space and ask for what you need or let a person know if you can or cannot do something, right? So, A, appearing confident and in negotiate, those are also very important parts
Hmm.
of communication.
Hmm.
Mhm. Yeah. Now, like I was saying earlier, we recognize that life isn't perfect. People don't always go along with things that we would like them to go along with. And sometimes we're going to have an argument or a conflict here and there, right? So, Coach Jay and I thought it would be good for us to go over some rules on how to have a fair fight, right?
Hmm.
And when to set a boundary, when to walk away. That's important information to know too. Okay. So, we have the fair fighting rules, right? Do
Hmm.
you want to start us off, Coach Jay, with the first fair fighting rule? Why you feel upset? Why are you mad?
Why are you mad?
Make sure you know why you're mad before you start a fight with someone.
Yes. So
Mhm.
are you angry because your partner left the mustard on the counter? Or
Mhm.
are you angry because you feel like you're doing an uneven share of housework? And this is just one more piece of evidence.
Mm.
Take time to think about your own feelings before starting an argument.
Mhm.
So
I
don't just
like
get out
that.
here and just go off about the mustard and then it turns into, well, you parked in my parking spot. You
Mhm.
know, keep it on the mustard if the mustard is what's bothering you.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
know, and if it's the parking spot that's bothering you, then bring up that parking spot as the argument.
Mhm.
Yes. Would you like to go
Next.
ahead to the next one? Yes.
Yeah, next one. Discuss one topic at a time.
Mm.
Okay. Now, I cannot tell you how many times I've had discussions with clients or with couples, and they are so upset because they've been holding on to things for who knows how long, how many days, weeks, months, and they just spew out all this information about the things this person has been doing over the past several months that they don't like. And that
Hmm.
person feels attacked, and then they come back at them with all of their receipts and whatnot, their evidence and their things, and it's just like a storm, and there's no end to it, you know, because you're both just trying to one up each other on all the things that you don't like about each other, or that little thing you didn't do, or or you left your shoes in the hallway. All that's is just all of it, right? Discussing one thing at a time. So don't let you left dishes on the sink turn into, well, you watch too much TV and you don't pay attention to me, and you're on Instagram all the time, and you spend all your time with your friends, and it's like, what are we talking about here? One thing at a time. That way you can solve that one issue at a time and then move on to the next thing. Yeah.
Also, no degrading language.
Mhm.
Don't be out here calling people out their name.
Mm.
Discuss the issue, not the person. No
Mm.
put downs, no swearing or
Mhm.
name calling. Degrading language is an attempt to express negative feelings while making sure your partner feels just as bad.
Mhm.
Doing so leads to more character attacks while the original issue is forgotten.
Yeah.
So it goes back to, if the mustard is on the counter and that you're mad about that mustard, you don't have to curse someone out about the mustard. You could just simply say, next time when you're using the mustard, may you please put the mustard back where you found it, or put the mustard back in the refrigerator or in the cabinet, wherever you keep your mustard, please.
Right, right. Isn't that's much more effective than saying, "You nasty slob.
Yeah.
You just why do you always leave
Hmm.
the mustard out. You don't care about me. You don't care about keeping the house clean.
Hmm.
You see? And then what
I'm
do you
the
think
only
that
one
person's
keeping
going
the
to
house
say?
clean.
Right. What is that person going to say now?
It's gonna go
What?
back and forth.
It's going to go bad.
Yeah.
You lost them at that point, as opposed to just sticking to the issue at hand. Can you please put the mustard back where it was? Right. Express feelings with words, right? So again, the I statements. I feel hurt when you ignore my phone calls. I feel scared when you yell. You know, I feel whatever the emotion is in the event, you know. That way you're taking responsibility for your own emotions and let them know how their behaviors are impacting your emotions. Mhm. Now, I'm going to give you guys a caveat though on this. That doesn't mean that you can use I and ignore all the other rules, right?
Hmm.
So that doesn't mean, well, I think you're being an asshole. Well, I think that you don't care about me, right? That is not a good example of an I statement,
Hmm.
right? Have to make sure I put that in there too.
Hmm. What you said was right.
Mhm.
Take turns speaking. Give your full attention while your partner speaks.
Mhm. Don't
Avoid,
interrupt them.
yes, avoid making corrections or thinking about what you want to say. Your only job is to understand their point of view, even if you disagree.
Mhm.
If you find it difficult to not interrupt, try setting a timer, 1 to 2 minutes each person to speak without any interruptions.
Mhm. Mhm. I love that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And I know sometimes it's hard not to jump in when someone's talking, but give them that grace.
You want
It's
to hear
it's
them.
about
You
yeah.
want to hear them. They want to hear you.
Mhm.
Just like you want to be heard, they want to be heard. Make sure that you. If you feel like you have that energy where you want to cut someone off, set that timer on your phone. 2 minutes. You get 2 minutes to speak, then I get 2 minutes to speak. Whether you
Mhm.
finish what you say or they finish what they say, 2 minutes is up. It's my turn. Effective communication.
Right. You got to give respect to get respect, right? If
Mhm,
if you care about your partner, give them that respect. That's how you create a safe space for them to feel heard. That's
mhm,
how you do that. Let them know that when they're talking, you're going to listen to them, and vice versa. It goes both ways. Mhm. The next one, stonewalling. Okay. Do your best not to stonewall. You may ask, what is stonewalling exactly? It's similar to the silent treatment, right? So sometimes when we're upset, we might think the easiest way to respond is to just retreat into a shell, refuse to speak, shut down, really, That is called stonewalling. So it might help you in the moment temporarily, but the original issue is still going to be there. Your partner is still going to be upset, and you need to figure out different ways to regulate your emotions so you can come back to the conversation. If you feel like it's just too heated and you really don't want to talk about it at that time, that's okay. Sometimes that happens and emotions are high and we just cannot go on with the conversation. But at that point, you say, let's take a break from this, but agree to have the discussion later, right?
mhm,
That's still giving your partner respect. Say, I see how much you want to talk about this and not too upset to talk about it. I know you want to talk about it. Let's make a plan. Let's discuss this after dinner. Let's discuss this weekend at this time. Agree on the time so that you both know that you're going to get back to it, right? That way that your partner doesn't feel anxious or more upset or more unheard, and then you get a chance to calm yourself down.
Also, going into the next one,
Mhm.
so no one is yelling.
Mhm.
Yelling does not help anyone see your point of view. Instead, it just
Mhm.
sends the message that your words only matter.
Yeah.
Even if yelling intimidates your partner into giving up, the underlying problem only grows worse. So you don't have to yell to get your point across. You can literally sit down, put the 2 minutes on your phone or your timer, say exactly what you have to say, and after you say what you have to say in a calm tone, let that person respond. You hear them, give them their 2 minutes that grace, and then you guys have effective communication going forward. I don't have to yell to tell you that you left the mustard on the counter, that you didn't call me that you were on your way and let me know that you're on your way still. You didn't call
Mhm.
me and tell me that you were going to be late. I don't have to yell to say those things. I can say it in a calm tone and just know that what I said is being received and that you hear me and that you understand that where my worry is coming from that you didn't call.
Love it.
Hmm.
Mhm. And again, if you feel like the urge to yell is just so high, the next step, take a time out. If it gets too heated, it is okay. You're not losing by saying that you can't continue the discussion at that time. You're not losing. Take a time out. In a perfect world, right? We could just, talk through everything all the time, but that's not realistic. Life does not work that way. You know, it is okay to agree to come back to a conversation
Hmm.
or even to say, let's get someone else in here on this. Let's go to a mediator. Let's go to a coach. Let's go to a counselor. Let's go to our pastor. You know, sometimes that's needed so you both can feel that you're being heard.
Yes. The next one will be attempt to come to a compromise or an understanding.
Mhm.
Yes, that very important. There isn't always a perfect answer to an argument. Life is too
Mhm.
messy for that,
Mhm.
you know? So do your best to come up with a compromise, you know? If you can't come to a compromise, simply taking the time to understand your partner's perspective can help soothe negative feelings.
There it is. There it is. Those are the rules.
Yes.
Okay. Now, if you would like time to discuss these rules in more depth, we would love to do that with you via one-on-one sessions. We can go in more detail on it.
Yes.
We could even do consultations for couples who want to learn about healthy communication.
Hmm.
There's so much information out there, but sometimes it is needed to just take a step back and have someone else come in to help you with your communication skills. It's okay to ask for help in this area because we recognize this is not easy stuff. We gave you some rules based on like common issues people have, but it's not going to be a quick fix. You're going to have to take some time and actually practice this
Hmm.
work with your partner and with yourself over and over and over again, you
You don't
know?
have to just practice it in arguments. You can practice in just everyday
Yeah,
conversations.
when you're getting along, do it.
Yeah, that's the
Mhm.
perfect time to do it, so
Mhm.
that you can really see how this actually will show up in your relationship.
Mhm.
And then when it's time, when that argument does come, you can revert back to when you guys were getting along and say, hey, I did let him speak when we were getting along, when we were talking. I was letting him speak. I was
Mhm.
understanding what he was saying. I understood his perspective. Okay, let me take a step back. Let me listen to him. I don't have to yell. I don't have to scream to get my point across. So don't just do it in an argument. Do it when, like I said, when everyone is getting along. Perfect time to do it.
Yeah. Remember, your partner is exactly that. Your partner, your
Hmm.
teammate. They are not your enemy. Don't attack the person, attack the problem.
Hmm. Hmm.
You get a lot further with that than personal attacks, yelling, name calling, coming up with receipts, as if you got to make score a bunch of points over that person, one upping that person. At that point, you're both going to lose. So let them know about the problem and say, how can we work on this together? That's the best way to approach any issue when you're going to have a difficult conversation with someone.
And like you said, any issue with anyone. So it
Yeah.
doesn't just mean your partner in
Hmm.
life, your romantic partner. It could be your friend, it could be your supervisor, it could be your cousin, your mom, it could be anyone. Effective communication, it does work.
Hmm.
Just
Yep.
taking that time out to really try it.
Hmm. Yes. Love it. Do you have any other words to add, Coach Jay?
I think today I will say my final words would be listen more.
Listen to understand,
Mm-hmm.
not to respond.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yes. Listen more. Yes.
Love it.
All right, you guys. It's been good. Love seeing you guys today. Hope all is well. If
Hmm.
you want to get in contact with us, hopefully by now I hope you guys know how. But if not, please feel free to hit me up on the gram at Get Well Wit Mail. And my co host, hers is,
Cam the Queen, and then we have our group page.
yes,
Self-love is the key wellness. Mhm.
yes. And also, you can follow us on the TikTok, the TikTok at Self Love is the Key Wellness as well.
Yes,
Give us a
yes,
follow, give us a shout out, all that
yes.
good stuff. And don't
Send
forget,
us questions, right?
yes,
If you have questions, send us. We love to answer questions on our
yes,
episodes. And we're just here to provide a service to the community and let everyone know that it is okay to not be okay and it's okay to talk to someone.
yes,
Hmm.
yes. So make sure you guys do comment on this video, like this video, share this video, give it a thumbs up, all that good stuff. And we
Yes.
will see you next time here at Self Love is the Key Wellness.
Thank you.
Bye, you
Bye.
guys.